Okay, I wanna welcome everybody again. Okay, welcome to another video here. In this video today, okay, it's a special video because this is an interview that I'm going to be taking part in. I've been on the Demzly show before, and once again I'm going to take part in it again. I want to just say quickly, okay, that just a quick introduction. The voice you're going to hear of the person who's interviewing me is a very close friend of mine and a renowned martial artist and author, writer, martial arts instructor. He's done so much, and he's just a wonderful father too. Okay, his name's Demzly. Okay, Demzly online, and we've been very good friends for many years now, many years. And I'm always happy when I get like an opportunity like this. So I want to just say, okay, basically, it's a short interview. Demzly's, I'm going to be replying to you, okay, Demzly, and anybody watching, okay, I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to be replying to Demzly's questions as he interviews me about all kinds of random questions. I like to do these whenever, but the thing is, I want to say, okay, I'll tell you a secret. Yesterday I actually did make this video already, but I deleted it because it was too long. Yesterday I was just rambling on and on for like 2.5 hours. I was talking because I got that carried away with the answers, and I thought I'd just tell you guys that there. For this one, let's cut straight to it. I've got the speakers on. I'm not doing any fancy editing or anything with the sound here. I've just got the camera set up on a tripod. Hopefully you will hear the sound well. I hope this just comes out nicely. I'm sitting at home here. I've got a cup of tea there, and I've got my hat on, my thinking cap, because I look a bloody mess, man. I just woke up, so I thought I'd have this. I like this hat anyway. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, guys. I'm working so hard on art and animation and stuff, as you know, and it's just really nice to have this chance to be in this interview again. Two more things I want to say. One, I hope the sound comes out nicely enough for you to hear at least both of our voices, at least enough volume. Good enough volume you can hear. Secondly, I want to say that Demzly did record his interview questions for me while he was out and about, so you're going to hear some sound of the wind and stuff outside on his phone or whatever he recorded it on. It must have been a phone, right? So yeah, without further ado, let's do this. I'm taking part on the Demzly show interview. In this version of this, okay, I'm going to give very straightforward, please bear with me, okay, but I'm going to give straight up short answers to each question rather than going into the nitty gritty, at least trying to fit it all in one video into this video. It's just not worth it because yesterday I spent 2.5 hours answering the questions. So let's do this, okay?
Good morning and welcome one and all. You're now in tune to the Demzly show, and a big good morning to everybody, especially you, Richard Clark, over in China, aka also known as Wushu Richard. How are you, Richard? Hope you're okay, pal.
Well, thanks.
I'm going to ask you a series of questions, okay? This is obviously going to be an audio format, just answer in your own time, okay? Reply using the video format so everybody can see your answers at home, and more importantly, your expressions at home, you know? So, yeah, we'll start off by... I'll start by telling the viewers a few things. So, Wushu Richard, Wushu name, obviously from the martial art you studied, I understand. Okay, so where did your story begin? I understand you was born and raised in London, and now you reside in China as a teacher. Could you just tell us about how you made that transition from London to China, okay?
Okay, short answers then on that. First of all, okay, about the Wushu, the Wushu part. It wasn't really that... I took it because I'd studied some Wushu. It wasn't even that. It wasn't that reason why I took that word into my YouTube name and put it into my name, like Wushu Richard. No, it was mainly what it was. It was kind of, but I don't have the biggest background on that system, like Wushu systems as such. I've studied different kinds of kung fu and different kinds of martial arts, as I say. I've studied some Wushu, as I say, long fist also. I've studied different martial arts like karate and kickboxing, but it wasn't really because of that. I was very influenced back in the day. I was watching movies of Jet Li. If you know Jet Li, a renowned martial arts actor. I just loved his movies, and I started reading up on the guy. and I realised that the kind of martial arts that he does, like he was always bringing up this term wushu, you know, and it's a little bit of a different term to kung fu, but it's basically the same sort of thing. I'm not going to go into detail into this, but anyway, I was just fascinated by Jet Li and his wushu, you know, styles of kung fu and stuff, and basically I just took it into my name. It was just a random name I come up with on YouTube as Wushu Richard, and over the years I've come up with different variations of the name, just rough name, but it's just something I've kept. It's just a very clumsy, klutzy name, really. Now, as for moving from London to China, London, England, you know, where I was born and grew up, I moved here, as I say, my early 20s. Moved to China. Obviously, that was due, just in short, it was because of someone I met, okay, over there. I'll say it simply put. We were close at the time, ish. Young people, you know what I mean. And but then we went our different ways. So I'll just say that. I guess you can probably work that out, anyone. But it was someone who was close to me at the time, who was from China. We came here. I ended up wanting to stay, because I preferred it here than back in the UK for many reasons. Nowhere's perfect, but I preferred it, and I wanted to stay in China. I ended up finding a job and stuff, you know. But what it was is, you know, I'd been going through an absolute living hell back in London in my life. Now, when I say that, I know that there's people that are going through absolute hell and really terrible lives now in the world. But I'm just saying, from my point of view, right, from my situation, I was going through such a tough, not only a tough time, a tough reality that was no way and is no way going to get better over there. So in terms of for my survival, okay, because I don't have like the best education either when it comes to like that and jobs and then the home life and then needing a place to live and it's just the whole thing, the whole aspect of all the elements that it was a path that I just had to get out of the place I was at, and I had to take a risk. So I just took that risk to go to a country where I can't even speak the language or anything. I was literally pushed. I was driven out of my own country for the simple fact of, man, you've tried everything. I've tried everything back there almost, at least within my power and my reach and my vision and my reach at that time to find ways to get by there, but it weren't working out. So basically I had to leave my home, the West, you know, UK, the same way I see it, absolutely very much like a lot of people from around the world want to like travel from their countries to go to the West for a better life. I had to do that because me personally as an individual, excuse my language, I was totally fucked over there. And it's got nothing to do with my laziness. It's got nothing to do with me being lazy or what an idiot, whatever you want to look at it as. I'm a hardworking person. I've got my head screwed on. I'm not the smartest person, but look, I looked at a lot of benefits too. I mean, for like going to a place like China. It could be another place, but I came to China. As I say, it just feels more safe here, more at peace. And work-wise, I was able to do something different that I could cope with. It was just an absolute escape from the pits of hell that I pulled myself from. I went through a lot of stuff in England that I would not wish upon anybody. But of course, there's people in the world with harder stories to tell than me. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble. That's basically it, though. That's the meat and potatoes of the whole argument. I pulled myself from hell just to get a roof over my head and have a basic life. Okay. And then as I say though, as of now though, as I say, I'm married, happily married with this new, she's not here in this video, but my wife, okay, is Chinese and I'm living here. This particular wife I'm with, I've been married, you know, to this one for a good few years now, and we're, you know, happy and just trying to make a life here, okay? So let's move on to the next question.
How old are you now currently? And do you have children of your own? Are you married? Anything like that? Okay. And what martial arts are you involved in at the moment?
Wow. Okay. So good few questions there before I forget. I'm currently 36, and the year is 2019. We're in February in this video. 36. At this stage in my life, I've been living in China for 13 years, just under, whatever, around 13 years. That I am married, but I don't have children. As I say, I don't have children yet. I'm not going to go into too much detail. As far as I know, the doctors in the hospital, I've had checkups and stuff like that. I don't have any issues with me, nor does my wife. But personal stuff. This is pretty personal. But she's had what do you mean? Different people have different, what do you call it? Different conditions and stuff in to do with their body and that anyway. But the doctors seem to say that I'm okay, she's okay, but we wouldn't mind having children. With me, right, when it comes to children, it's not that I want children. I actually don't really mind not having them for two reasons. One, just the whole struggle of the way I feel chained down and it's so hard trying to support myself as well. God knows how. I don't want to be a failure to them. But secondly, it's just I love life so much. I'm so occupied in my passions. I know that sounds so ridiculous. You could call me selfish, or you could call me selfish or a stupid human being. I don't believe also that a mother or father should be, any human being should have no time for their passions. You can still find time for your passions, but I know if you're a parent, you're going to be so busy and you won't have as much. See, I'm so. What's the word? My passion is in my creation and my hobbies and stuff. I get exhausted enough from work. Now, the good things about having children, which I would like to have children. I would like it if I was to have them. I'm saying, obviously, but the main thing would be passing on martial arts that I've learned in my life and passing on positive philosophy about life and just making sure that I pass on some kind of example of some education based on my experience of whatever I've got. But the only thing from life. But the only thing is, all people are different. You know what I mean? So my morals, my principles and stuff won't match up to what they've had. I could be talking to my child. If I had a child, I could be talking to them about anything. How to be confident in life and all kinds of things. Now, obviously, that's coming from my background. When I was young, I was bullied in school. There's a lot of things I've not been the most confident person in my life. It's the same about anything, training hard, the martial arts and all this. They may not have this warrior instinct, if you want to call it that, because but the thing is, the modern world as well is a scary place. I mean, young people on their mobile phone just pressing buttons all day and stuff like this as well, I guess if people are looking back on this video, it may look really old and ridiculous now. Oh yeah, phones, do you remember those? I mean, I think it's pretty scary the way the world's going with technology and all that. Technology is great, but I think they're going a bit too much when they're talking about the future, as well. Where are the future generations going to be living in? What kind of world? I mean, scary. They're talking about technology and AI and connecting people up to the cloud and all this crazy, crazy stuff, the internet of everything. These topics bother me. They really do. I mean, I was watching videos with David Icke talking about this stuff, or whoever, But anyway, let's get back to what I'm saying though. Yeah, so I don't have children, but I do always think about if I were to have children, it would be nice to have children and see them growing. It would be company for me to be someone maybe to take care of us, sort of thing, when we get old, me and my wife. It would be very nice to have them and I would love them, but it's not something that I constantly think of, maybe not enough, but I don't always think about it. I want to have kids, I don't always think like that, and I don't want to ever grow old, so I just love life and I love focusing on my passions. It's a fairly long and not full enough answer there, I know. Your last part of the question, no, excuse me. The last part of your question was about the martial arts and what kind of martial arts I do now, right? Nowadays, I'm not training everything. As I say, in the past, I trained so many different martial arts. But nowadays, I practice a little bit of basic, Wing Chun, mainly, self-defense skills, blocking, you know, combinations, the Wing Chun hand, Kung Fu techniques, simple Kung Fu techniques, and movements from all the like simplified martial arts. Anything that's like simple and direct. Yeah, nothing that's too flashy. I don't practice a lot of forms, cutters on a regular basis or anything like that. Forms of cutters. I don't practice a lot of very crazy, flexible, flashy movements, jumping kicks and all that. I just do basic, simple hand and foot techniques, you know. But what I do every morning is I do a full stretch workout from top to bottom. Just one that fits me in my situation now. It might not be like next door's. It may not be like some gymnast who lives next door to you, anybody out there. But I just do what's comfortable with me. You know, I feel comfortable with. I mean, doing flexible stretching and stance work and things like that. Okay, so I hope that answers that question.
So in China, I understand you're a teacher, okay? You teach English, okay? Can you tell us how you come about to teach English in China from obviously residing in London and going through, a lot of jobs, wasn't happy, obviously your home life wasn't necessarily happy all the time. How has this journey took you now to being a teacher, okay? And how different are you now compared to when you was growing up?
Yeah. That's actually a very good one. That last part there, what you said there, I actually missed in yesterday's video, which I deleted. So I'm going to cover that actually. Okay, basically, okay then. So how did it all play out? I guess you're asking. Like, coming from a hard background, yeah, weren't the easiest time I've had growing up. Been through a lot of stuff, abusive, bullying on all levels, living in rough areas, getting mugged when I was younger. Getting mugged and robbed on the streets, around where I lived, on my way to and from work. I worked for 7 years, working in jobs that for me were absolute hell. I'll just tell you this: low-paid jobs, all kinds of low, crappy jobs. Abused by the people in there too. It was just a hard time. I was exhausted at home, exhausted. I hardly had any time to relax, even when I was at home. I'll put it that way. I've been through so much that it just wasn't for me, and I was just really down. You talk about people having stress and anxiety and all this weird stuff, and people start talking about taking pills for stuff. I don't take pills for anything. I don't take any kind of drugs or toxic shit anyway, whether they call it medicine or they call it a way out. I live off logic and nature. That's how it is for me. Yeah. And I always had sense in myself. I was always looking for a way out. I mean, you saw Neo in the Matrix saying, "Get me an exit." Get me an exit. That's what it was. I had to get an exit. So. But now, here's the thing, right? So, to become a teacher, as I say, when I first come to China, through people who knew people, I was, introduced to certain teaching jobs, and I started doing it. It was very hard when I first became a teacher. It wasn't something that I wanted to really do, even, but it was better than any other job that I could do, back in the UK. And not only that, I wasn't bothered about how much money. It was just about if I could survive. And because England, London, living alone would only mean death on the streets, homeless. That's what it would mean. So, because there's no way of supporting yourself, I thought I had to get out no matter what. So there was no way for me there. For me personally, I don't know about anybody else out there. That's up to you in your life, or whatever you found. But for me, I had to get out of there. So I chose, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to do it. If I can do it. I looked at it and I thought, all right, I'll give it a go, because I had to. And just standing there talking, I thought, I'll pick it up and learn and become a better teacher as I go. And I remember standing in the hallway of this office building for the interview, like when I was looking for that first university job. It was there was a kids' school I was working at as well before. Anyway, I was there, and it was very nerve-wracking. I could not speak any Chinese at the time either. So, as I say, you know, that was a long, long time ago. But it was obviously hard. I was, you know, getting a little bit mocked by some of the students and stuff. I had to face big classes of students, you know, college, university students and stuff, young adults, you know, 19, 20, up to 24-year-olds. And, you know, all right, you know, I'd rather be a teacher in somewhere like China, or as it has been through the years, rather than in the West, you know, because I mean, some of the, I don't know what it is that there's some level of respect, you know, you get, but it's like, you know what I mean? They're not totally unruly, but some of the stuff I've seen, like videos online of around the world and in the West, and like, you know, the way they, you know, I mean, they just don't give a fuck, do they? Some of those, excuse my language, these students, they'll be so abusive and sometimes violent towards the teachers, even in the high schools and stuff. So I wouldn't want to do that. But being a teacher, though, it's something nice about it. It's meaningful, and it does, you know, it did grow on me a bit. I did like the feeling of being there and talking to all them people, and I thought, you know, if I can share a message too, not only just teach the subject, but actually have messages and things that I could share and try and share that some of that philosophy. I thought there's a chance here that I can do good, meet quite a few people, and actually find my worth. Like, as in, I've got something in me. The world, you don't just say the world's fucked up. You say, I've got a chance to interact, ask questions, get them thinking, share what my thoughts are in a humble way, and just be like a mirror of lights. I don't know what's the best one. Be a mirror for light, just reflecting light around that damn room. I feel like I'm just cleaning up shit on a daily basis. I don't know, preventer of you know, there being more trash thrown around in the world, so to speak. But let's get back to what I'm saying, though. Yeah, so the basic thing that it was to become a teacher, as I say. It was hard in the beginning, especially with like not being able to speak Chinese too, and then the students having a low level of English, and me having no experience in teaching at all, and just to be in a massive room like that, or like one of those big lecture halls they have, like sometimes like 100 people, 40 to 100 people, the big screens, you know, big screens they have, or before they didn't even always have those. They just had like the big blackboards and that, you know. And I was standing there thinking, fuck, you know, I was like nervous. I'd walk in there and they'd be laughing and stuff. Oh, here he comes. Is he the teacher? They'd become like a young student, because I was pretty young. I was like 20 something at the time as well. Oh my God. If you've ever done it, you know, I mean, for anyone in any country, I mean, and you've got to remember a lot of people coming from the West also, or coming from different parts of the world, they've got a different attitude. Like sometimes, like if you go to another country, you know, well, it's another country anyway, but some people will be like, they wouldn't think of it like that as another country or the same. They don't think too much about cultural differences. That's why you get a lot of culture clashes with some people. I'm not that kind of person. I'm very open-minded and easygoing. But still, though, that feeling of just walking in and seeing that many people, no matter what, you're just thinking, my God, you know, uneasy. But later on, I just started to understand that, you know, you get negative people wherever you go. You get some people who want to communicate, and I thought, you know what, I'm just here. You know, I'm not going to get assaulted, or hopefully, you know what I mean. If I get any crap, I'll just play it out as best I can. I'll just, you know, try and be positive, communicate with these people, just say what I'm thinking. I know what I'm thinking. I know what I'm saying, and that's the most important thing. I had to learn to take control of what I'm thinking and say it loud. It trained my confidence in such a strange way. So that's how I've changed in some ways. I've definitely become more publicly confident. I've become more confident. I took part in certain things, like going on a stage, talking to students sometimes in the halls, teaching martial arts off my own back, my free time, even doing a bit of singing and like rapping and stuff on the stage just for fun and things, wushu demonstrations, things like that, and then all the pressure that was building up like all the time, like even just like living here for all those years and what I was going through, more or less by myself. Just being taken care of. But the thing was, it was like, you know, as I say, sorry if this is a little bit longer, this video now, as I say, but I'm just saying it was just a training. It was like, you know, the pressure that I had was forcing me to do it. I knew that I couldn't go back to the UK. I could just shut up and be nervous and timid and appear timid and just get less respect as a teacher or as a human being. Or I could face them and talk, pick up the Chinese as I went, use a bit of that. If I made mistakes, fuck it, it didn't matter because I was doing something. I was going to show effort and determination, and through humbleness in the soft way, you know, like a monk basically, and that's the martial way. You know, they say through yield and overcome. So I might have had that gentle way. I might have come across timid, so nice, and all this or whatever they thought of me, soft, either nervous or whatever. But I would be standing there. I would speak good. I would speak positive stuff. And when it come to it, you know, I was putting in so much effort. Over the years, I put in so much more free time and stuff. I put in so much effort off my own back. I put in so much work. Wow, it just blows my mind when I think actually back to the stuff I've actually done to that other teachers haven't done. Even I'm not boasting. I'm just saying, like, literally in my free time, I put more time into my free time into helping groups of students, preparing papers off my own back, talking with them than my actual classes even. So I was more busy and I was more driven. I might not have seemed it. Just a guy in a t-shirt, you know what I mean? But I wasn't putting some flashy show on in a suit and that. But I was literally coming in every day and thinking about it. And I was constantly concerned. If you're concerned, like, you know, the worry drove me on. But it was like I became a very driven teacher. That's what I will say. I was driven to absolutely fight for communication. For the human, it weren't even about I'm going to teach this and listen to that. I'll do that, and I'll do that with a heart. But it's like I was concerned for the lack of respect for communication or understanding. It was like I might be quiet, but I'm not going to just be blown away. You're going to see yourself, at least in me, a bit. That's what I was going to say. You're going to see a mirror, and whenever there's positivity, I light it up. When if someone's being positive in the class, talking to me, I'll speak on that. Or what someone said, I'll bring it up next week or something. Let them see that Richard has been taking note. I've become a very driven, you know, I don't know how I did it, forged myself as a teacher in many ways that other people may not have. But as a teacher, definitely quiet, not the most experienced, quiet, nervous, whatever you want to call it, not the most experienced compared to whoever you want to say out there, not the most polished of and, you know, painted, advertised, whatever the fuck, you know, but I've done a lot. I've put a lot of work in, and the most of the work I've put in, right, is most people would look at it as work, but most of the work that I've put in an effort has been on a human level. But I've just, you know, it's just been survival though, just going to and from work. My passions are in what I like to do. I like to create art and animation, you know. But yeah, using the philosophy of the martial arts and the principles, that's what guided me to push me on through all of these hardships that I face in life, even till today. But now I have more of a knowledge and an understanding of life and my actual being. I'm more in a kind of enlightened state at the moment where I'm actually really, I've been through. It's like the samurai has taken me on his horseback through the fucking battles, and I've seen everything. And we've got to beyond the mountains, and now I'm like looking through the mountains, and there's a sunset or sunrise, whatever. That's like now I can see clearly, you know, there can be peace, sort of thing. That's what I feel like. Let's move on to the next question. Was that an epic ending to the answer? Let's move on. How long have we been talking? Half an hour? Let's move on.
And now for a little bit of fun. Could you tell us what star sign you are? Because I like to keep things a little bit perky. Because I'm a Scorpio, you see. I'm a Scorpio. So, you know, it'd be very interesting to see what you are, Rich.
Alright, so, as I said before, I'm not superstitious or anything. I don't follow Mystic Megs and stuff like that. I mean, my mum used to read up like the star signs and stuff, but I don't know if that's all true or not. Whether it's true or not, who knows how the universe is lining up the stars and animals and whatever's. But the way I see it, okay, is, you know, no matter how the storms of the world, whatever's going on around you, you've still got to stay focused in yourself. So I just stay positive and focused. But I am a Scorpio apparently, which is pretty cool. Also, but I don't follow that, and I don't really follow the Chinese zodiac either, the 12 animals and all that stuff. You know, let's move on anyway. I know you like it though. Fair enough.
Outside the realm of martial arts, okay,
Yeah.
do you have any more hobbies and interests? Now, I'm saying that because I understand that you do have a little bit of flair for creativity. You enjoy making videos and artwork and that. Can you touch on a little bit more in depth some of the projects you've done, okay, and any scripts you might have wrote, okay, and where you'd like to take them in the forthcoming future?
All right. In fact, this is really good, actually. I'm being able to answer these questions a bit better this time in this video, I feel, too. So let's just get on with it. Yeah, listening to your questions again is nice and thorough for me. So it's more clear for me. So, yeah, I do. I have so much passion. It's like martial arts. I've always said martial arts is my life. But it's been like a guiding force for pushing me on, helping me to survive as such, mentally, and then through to the physical and whatever else I do. It's given this quiet young boy growing up, it's given me, growing up, this warrior element. I'll say it that way. The warrior element to make me have this warrior state of mind that, you know what, you might have to duck and dodge and whatever, but you're going to keep going on. If you keep moving on, like Rocky says, keep moving on, you are not going to, you know what I'm saying? The sword may have to move around, but it's going to continue fighting, and it's going to cut through whatever it's, that's what it's like. So you've got to go straight. It's like you may have to take turns, but you've always got to go straight. You see what I'm saying? That's the philosophy. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, by all means you need to go straight, but you may have to take turns. It's there, man. Everything is nothing. Nothing is everything, as I always say. Got the yin and yang, and yin yang, and all that. That's what it is. Things like it says circles and straight lines. I mean, that's what Larry Taylor used to say in the Kempo and stuff. But let's get back to what I'm saying. But yeah, so just forgot your question, hey Joe. Basically, yes, the martial arts the martial arts though, that's always been a main thing in my life, but it isn't really the main thing. Like passions and hobbies, right? Since I was young, since I was a little boy, when I was young, I love drawing. I love drawing on paper. I was always drawing. And to this day, I've still got that flair, that passion. I don't want to call it a flair. I don't want to call it a passion, a hobby, something I like to do. This is what I was, excuse my language, effing fucking driven to do. I might not be the best artist. My whole life, I wanted to work in art, animation, cartoons, comics. I'm not the best artist. There's some people out there doing amazing stuff. But I've been watching cartoons growing up, all kinds of cartoons, plus then manga and anime and comic books and all that. I love all that. And then movie making. I've always wanted to get into something like that, TV, movies, directing, like writing my own stories. So I've got so much passion. Like you say, you bring up scripts too. I do drawing. Nowadays, I use digital stuff. Like you've seen this, I've got digital screens and stuff here. I've got, I'm working on. I've got digital hardware and software, okay? Digital hardwares and softwares I'm working on now, okay, and I'm working on art. I use different softwares, okay, different hardware to create digital art. I explore all kinds of ways. I study and I read up books as well, like ebooks and stuff online. Watch videos to learn more about. I love all these concept artists you have. I study some 3D also. I've got like some of the best stuff. I've got some good stuff, some great software on here. I mean, I've been learning about Blender in terms of 3D. I've got Photoshop on here as well. But I've got a bunch of like softwares that I use on here, okay? Sometimes I do some video editing with some effects. I've got Hit Film on here. But again, with, I was going to say a Fire Alpaca is a great art software that I use so much. But yeah, mainly, I like doing that. I like just practicing my sketching, my drawing, my painting on the computer digitally, the pen. Yeah, doing comics when I do, even making some simple little computer games on the side with some softwares. I love playing around with different softwares. But I say playing around, but it's like experimenting, but it's like I'm forging and just creating. I love creating. If you don't live in life, so if you don't create in life, then what's the reason to live? And that's what Van Damme has always said. And I believe it's true. He said, yeah. It's like you got to enjoy life, and you got to have that passion. So now with the technology that's available to us, and especially stuff that's free as well, But so I love to do it. I make use of the technology. You've got to have an imagination and creation. I make some animated cartoons. I love to write some short stories and fiction. I have wrote some scripts in the past. I won't mention those scripts right now, but I wrote a couple of like simple rough scripts for like kung fu inspired movies and stuff in the past. And I've actually written some short like fictional stories too. I was thinking to write some like new books in the new year, maybe. Or in the new year now. I write some new books. The thing with me is I have this drive in me. I don't have to tell myself to get off my arse and like get on with it. For me, it's like I do. Sometimes I'm so busy, like everybody has to work and different stuff, But for me, it's constantly in me. It's like I don't know if I can ever make money or do anything with this. I've sent my stories off to so many places, been rejected and stuff. But you got to keep at it. And I did do an art and design college course when I was like younger, a short course, but I gave up halfway through and quitted it. It wasn't the right one for me either, and it wasn't for me at all. It wasn't going anywhere. And there was nothing you could get from that. I was more or less sure. And I had a tough time in there, awkward people I was dealing with too. So I ended up just working for that 7 years of my fucking life back in the UK, and then eventually couldn't take it anymore. All the stuff I was going through, which people don't have a clue, and I had to just get out of that abusive, torturous life, and I had to come to China, work as a teacher for all these years. And what else could you do, Yeah, and I had to learn the language just from, people I knew, and but I never studied like Chinese in school or in a school setting. I just picked it up from people I know and my wife's family and stuff. But I'm just saying, so even to this day, I can't read Chinese. I can just speak it, but I need to learn some of that. But I'm just saying, art is my main thing. In my free time, other passions, so art, all kinds of digital art and animation. For the cartoons, I make my own music and background music too. I do the voiceovers. I play around doing some voices. I've actually done a little bit of voiceover work. Actually, I've had a little bit of rough stuff. I was here in China, but let's get on to what I'm saying though. Making simple movies like with little simple special effects and like edited videos. I like to do that. Experimenting with softwares. I like to write stories, write scripts, write books, write all kinds of stuff. Experimenting with things like that. I've made a couple of websites and stuff in the past, quite a few. I like to make my own music, so I make all kinds of music, like chill out music, 80s type inspired synthesizer music, all on my computer because I can't play any instruments or such. I had some drum lessons when I was younger and stuff like that, keyboard. But yeah, making music, making like chill out stuff, making beats, making rap music, then making more lively like Italo disco 80s inspired stuff because I love the 80s. Anything from the 1980s because I was born in 1982, but not because of that, but I love all the movies and the music and stuff of the 80s too. It's so much stuff. I'm just such a full of passion person. I've got such an imagination. I can't just grow old. You see what I'm saying? It would be nice to have children and stuff and grandchildren and great grandchildren. It would be good, but I don't want to rush to grow old. You see, anyway. And I don't want to just go to work, come home, go to work, come home. I want to live a life that's fulfilling. Whether I can make money and survive off of my passion, which I would love to do. My passion's like this. And I want to get my stuff out there. So if there's any opportunities out there, anyone, if I can send my stuff to anyone, okay, let me know, okay, because I want to make it with my art. I'm just saying, okay, I'm not the best artist, but, I'm just saying, okay, whether I can or I can't get my stuff out there and like make a living from it, I'm still going to make a living from within myself. My life is for my passion and my creation. Martial arts, I work out every day. I love the skills, and for the martial arts, I'm saying that side is just something that I do every day. But it's always going to be with me. And if there's someone who wants to learn from me, I'm always happy to teach because I've done teaching in my free time. As I say, I didn't say I've been teaching martial arts on the side for all these years. I've been in China to different people, be it like basic wushu, forms, all the way up to like Wing Chun training, sticky hands, self-defense, and skills and things like that. So martial arts is something that's always going to be with me and in me, whether I'm teaching others or just training myself only. But myself, that, I don't know. But the thing is, like, when it comes to art and drawing and animation, that's my main passion. That's what I'll say. So let's move on to the next question now, because I'm babbling and rambling. Still got some tea. Nearly finished.
Okay, where was I? Okay, I am currently on foot patrol at the moment. Okay, over in England. Okay, it's a lovely morning, absolutely lovely morning. So we'll continue now with martial arts actually studied. What martial arts have you actually studied, Richard? Okay, what martial arts have you actually studied? And do you have any favourite styles? Okay, and have you trained yourself in any weapons?
Well, I'm going to answer those questions blatantly simple as they were asked. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much detail. Martial arts that I've studied then, formally studied, right? I'm not going to go into too much detail. A few years here, a few years there of different styles, just all kinds of styles growing up, right? A few years of this, 3 years of that, 3 years of this, 2 years of that, different. So basically, what I've studied is karate, kickboxing, 5 animal kung fu, and weapons, Southern Shaolin style, basic qigong, let's say, long fist wushu and weapons, traditional weapons of that, a basic knife defense also, I forgot to mention, a little bit of taekwondo, a little bit of Wing Chun, a little bit of tai chi, as I say, tai chi. I've trained some bagua, as I say, bagua, which is another style. They're mainly the styles I've studied formally. Okay. Other, I mean, especially when it comes to like things like I say, taekwondo, tai chi, and Wing Chun, I've had very little training in them. Although Wing Chun I've had the most, and Wing Chun has become my main, style that I focus on now, because I don't know the forms and stuff, but the training from what I know and the sticky hands and what I've actually practiced up, I know is so beneficial. But I had a background. I did a lot of, I've done some kickboxing, as I say, and different things, So yeah, and but other stuff I've looked into as well, like online. I've watched videos and stuff. I've always been watching videos and collecting videos and books and stuff all throughout my life. So. Things on other arts which inspire me, things like I've not been lucky enough to learn formally, like ninjutsu and aikido. They're 2 arts, Japanese arts, which I've always been fascinated in. Kempo, okay, different arts out there. I love all the martial arts, but I'm not into this modern day sports stuff and MMA and all that. I'll just say that, okay. But let me just say I've got to say what I've got to say. Got to watch the time also. Yeah. What have I actually studied weapons-wise? What have I taught myself? You're saying, yeah. Weapons. What weapons have I taught myself? Is it possible to teach yourself? I mean, you can teach yourself different things. I guess you mean watching online, watching stuff, and then studying from that, like real martial art, and then of course experimenting by yourself. The same as the bare hands. A lot of things I've studied. So many. I've looked into all kinds of arts, be it Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or whatever, Filipino, whatever. I've looked into different ways of fighting with sticks, swords, blades, weapons, and all kinds of stuff. And based upon my basic background anyway, because I've had some basic weapons training in the different, some of the different schools I've been at. Other things, even just like watching movies and like watching, it might sound crazy, but watching movies and watching videos even online, you can learn a lot. But looking at the way to handle and hold a weapon, it's just a tool. It's an extension of your bodily movement anyway, right? So it's just imagination, but really, practicing on what I know and then trying to work different kinds of combinations and ways that I would strike and defend. The same as the bare hands, becoming fluid, having all kinds of motions you can do. Let me just go back and check that question in case I'm missing anything.
Have you trained yourself in any weapons?
Hold on.
favourite styles, okay?
Oh, okay.
And have you trained yourself in any weapons?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, favourite styles. Like I say, Wing Chun, okay, Yung Chun Chuan in Mandarin Chinese. That's my favourite in terms of self-defence. And I like some basic Tai Chi, as I say. Tai Chi, as I say. Basically, I think it's very useful for the basic pushing hands and self-defence. Other arts I'm fascinated. I love all the arts, really. I mean, there's times when I want to go into a boxing or a Muay Thai kind of combination. There's times where I want to do a kick out like a karate, taekwondo kick. There's times where I want to, not just I want to, I mean, there's a use for all these different techniques. I find some ninjutsu tactics are pretty, from what I've looked at online, they're pretty, good, useful techniques. I want to say Aikido, locks and things, Kempo, some of the snapping movements they're doing. When I was training the 5 animal kung fu, as I say, we did like the tiger and the crane. The crane blocks are really, really natural. They feel really good to do, you know what I mean? So there's so much, but I don't know. I love Wing Chun, sticky hands, and Tai Chi, as I say. I think pushing hands. I think the thing is with the movements, okay. The thing is like, it's not only about what feels good. You've got to understand why. What's your favourite? It can't be just it feels good. It goes to a point where they all come into one. It's like one connection of what actually works for you. Because if I was to say to you, okay, I like Muay Thai or I like Taekwondo, you're doing kicks all day and stuff. Yeah, okay. You just feel good doing it, or what? You know what I mean? It's like if you're in a self-defense situation and someone's choking you out, and then you go into some kind of lock or some arm technique. You know what I mean? That may work so well, and it's going to feel good if you're getting control of the situation, or you may be practicing a Tai Chi form and you're very good in good health and you're feeling good, or you're breathing exercises and stuff. They've all got their own benefits. So I love all the martial arts, but yeah, definitely certain kinds of training I like. Like if you might like Wing Chun. I like Wing Chun doing the sticky hands techniques and like blocking and trapping and things like that. But it's like sometimes you may want to just stand in front of a punching bag and just do some boxing combinations, just strike that bag. That might feel good. So that's my simple answer on that, as I say, okay? Well, let's move on to the next question then. Sorry for the length of this video. You see how they get long, these videos. But...
Could you tell us what teachers you've had, okay? Who's taught you martial arts, okay? And how important do you think solo training is in the martial arts? And more importantly, I know I myself was self-taught martial arts as well before I sought out teachers. Was it similar for you? Growing up in the 80s, like me in the 90s, with all the magical films, did that inspire you?
Well, yeah, okay, let's take it from there. Yeah, of course, the 80s and all that was a magical time. All these movies and stuff about martial arts and everything that people look back on now and say is cheesy, but I don't. I think they were absolutely great. The spirit in there. Growing up watching so many movies, like all the best, Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Van Damme, whatever, Steven Seagal, Symphony of Rough Rock, all the legends, even Karate Kid, all that stuff was just magical. Growing up watching that stuff inspired me. Now going out, I was bullied when I was young, as I say, but going out to learn martial arts and then later really getting more involved in the martial arts, going to different schools, you find the world's a different place. And some teachers are just like, cowboys, they call it. They just want your money and they don't teach really from the heart, or they're either good or not. Some teachers are better, or they're more genuine and they really have ability. But what you find is it's just a cold world, and you don't find that same magic in it, and inspiration sometimes from certain teachers. But what are you trying to live? A magical fantasy? It's like there's a practical use to the martial arts. You're keeping yourself healthy and you're training self-defensive combat. You want to avoid all fighting situations if possible, obviously, and violent confrontations. But you want to make sure that you train well. Okay, and it's about disciplining yourself. Teachers I've trained under. Let's just put it this way: teachers I've trained under, though. I'll mention some of them. Okay, Basil Fraser for karate, Fred Elson for kickboxing. They were both amazing. I mean, Basil Fraser was very strict at the time, but that discipline helps you, especially when you're a young kid, for the focus of the martial arts. And some of these teachers have really taught me some focus, like to focus on myself, and that's what you need to do. Focus on your energy. Don't be distracted by anything in the world around you. And this is some of the most golden knowledge that can be passed on from the martial arts. You've got to focus on yourself, but you've got to be aware of the self before you can control the car and drive the car. So, he would speak Japanese and stuff, but like the terminology, but we'd have to learn. But he was like a strict karate teacher. Basil Fraser, my first teacher. I don't know if any of these people are still teaching now or whatever. I'll just bring up some of the teachers, okay, I remember. Fred Elson, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he was like the oldest teacher I had, age-wise, but he was such a warm-hearted, good person. He was like a real-life English version of Mr. Miyagi. An old guy, but he was like always training so hard, and everybody in that kickboxing school, because it was in the kickboxing school that I studied under him, everybody was like just blown away by the guy. If you can imagine like Rocky and Mickey, his trainer, and then Mickey training hard, harder than Rocky. It's like that. Like he was in it. It's kind of like you know what I mean, a Rocky kind of story where the trainer just doesn't give up. He's like constantly at it. And he was just a very good inspiration, Fred Elson. Later on, other teachers like a man under the name of Sifu, Yap Leong, his name was Yap Leong, for the 5 animal kung fu, as I say. I don't even know to this day if he was actually from China or Malaysia. I'm still not too sure. He may have been from Malaysia, but I know he was there for a long time. But anyway, he was a very disciplined, one of the people in my life that I consider an absolute master of a style or techniques of kung fu. Just incredible. His knowledge was unbelievable, and I learned basic qigong as well from him. But the basic 5 animal kung fu that I learned with that guy under the name of Yap Leong, okay, as a teacher, it's amazing. Yeah, I won't go into too much detail now, but it was just incredible. Now, other people, as I say, when I come to China and learn with different teachers, people like I don't know the exact name of the second one, but learning the long fist wushu, I learned from this main teacher, and the weapons was from Fan Xin Li. Fan Xin Li. Okay, another one was I can't pronounce his name, Master Tong. I used to call him Tong, but this other guy who I learned the Bagua from, and he also helped me to understand a bit more about the long fist wushu as well. And they're teachers that I've studied under. I've gone over that in the past in depth about some of the different areas of the training that we used to do and stuff, and what I picked up from them and or not, but there's certain things I can talk about them more in future, but there's other teachers and stuff I have trained a bit with. Other stuff I've trained with is like even people that I've trained with, like in some of these schools who were doing Wing Chun at the time. I sort of picked up more from them on the Wing Chun, and that helped me to understand it a bit more. That was useful because they were training and studying other martial arts outside of it. So I trained with some of my classmate students in there, and then he'd show me a few things here and there from other styles and stuff. So let's move on.
Do you have any books, DVDs, any recommendations, anything that inspires you reading-wise? Okay, deep quotes, philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
Any film stars that used to inspire you? Who was one of your favourite actors growing up?
I'm just going to give a simple, short answer because there's so many books and things. There was a lot of books. There's a lot of inspirational people that have actually really inspired me in life in general, philosophy-wise and all that. Okay. So many, I could give you a massive list now of actors I like also, but also philosophical people that just really inspire me in life. And that is some deep stuff. And books, I can talk about all kinds of things like that. But let's just say this though, right? Books-wise, okay, there's an ancient philosophical book of quotes written by a Chinese philosopher called Lao Tzu, okay, who wrote the Tao Te Ching, is called the Tao Te Ching book. And it's basically a book about nature, the way of nature, with a yin and yang, the flow of nature, okay, which is the Tao, okay, and it's all about the reality of life, not life, just the reality of everything, just the truth. And it's just that book, the Tao Te Ching. Sometimes it's mispronounced, it's like Tao Te Ching, but it's the Tao Te Ching, okay, by Lao Tzu, okay, a Chinese philosopher. Sometimes pronounced Lao Tzu, and that's what it's Lao Tzu. Okay? And this guy, which is to me like the wisest human that ever walked the earth in terms of, at least if not in total, fair enough, but he's like, that's it, man. It's not about human beings' opinions on things and our human perception. No, the truth is the truth. That's it. Just be honest. It's like balance and harmony, peace in everything is what we're looking for. You've got yin and yang, right? Yin and yang in everything. In everything. And it's just an amazing book. That book is like the book. It's like it doesn't matter whatever you look at in life. The principles that are in that book, my God, it's like nothing. It's like even nothing. It's like opens your mind. It's like, okay, see two sides of everything. And then you start seeing everything more clear. I think that's a good starting point for anyone growing up. Young people can read that too. It's just an amazing, great book. Brilliant. Okay, and then you're saying, people, other like actors and stuff that inspired me. You're only asking actors, right? So I'm going to say martial artists, martial arts actors, and martial artists. Just briefly, okay. I'm not going to go into other areas. There's other people that are absolutely very inspiring to me. But okay, you're asking that. I've mentioned Jet Li, I've mentioned Jackie Chan and Van Damme. They're martial artists. But I'm going to say another person, okay, who really, really always stays in the back of my mind. Someone, okay. I can give you a massive list of people that inspire me. Oh, quite a big list. And it's not pick and mix. This is like an actual collection of people that I really like that are inspiring me in life. Always have. But I'll give you one person I'll say here. One person who's a little bit stays in the back of my mind a lot. Robin Williams. I think it was terrible he killed himself. Ridiculous. But Robin Williams was a wonderful man. I think he was such the comedian, the funny guy, the actor. He had such a passion. He was such the warmth that he portrayed. Whatever you say was inside, I don't know, but there had to be some kind of energy, and he was able to just put a smile on your face. That guy was full of energy, of good positive energy that was given off, no matter where it was coming from, even. But there was a good side, I'll say it that way, to Robin Williams. Not the singer, Robbie Williams. I don't like him. I mean the actor, Robin Williams. From What Calling Orson, and he was in Hook as well. In a lot of films. I think he was just an amazing person. Right? Really good. Let's move on. But yeah, Jet Li. I grew up watching Jet Li, and I'm a massive fan of Jet Li.
Right, down to the nitty gritty. Nitty gritties. I'm treading the pavement. Martial arts today. Okay, have you seen a lot of change in the world?
Yeah, fuck.
Where we currently are. I mean, I myself have. So, how do you feel about the current affair of martial arts in the world? Are there any things that you don't agree with?
Yeah.
Is there any things that you really do endorse? Okay.
Old stuff. That's it. All right. Yeah. Or no. What it is basically is I support the old stuff. I support the traditional, old, ancient martial arts. The stuff that most of the modern world doesn't have a clue about. There's people that have looked into traditional martial arts, or they've done it in the past, and they're saying, and they used to be gullible, but now they know it's a load of old bullshit and crap. I stand up for the traditional martial arts. Throughout the generations, in any form of art, be it modern training or old training, there's always going to be people that are full of bullshit, full of themselves, just trying to make money, and they're just teaching a load of old shit. Plus, you're going to get gullible people and people that just live in a dream world watching movies. Movies are great and everything, but the truth is, traditional martial arts, the ancient way, was real. It was absolutely fantastic. The principles of the traditional martial arts for a person's life were just golden, absolutely amazing. The training was totally different to this modern day sport stuff, this MMA. I don't like MMA and I don't like UFC. I'm not putting down people who want to do that. If you want to beat blood out of each other's faces and knock each other out, and you've got men fighting women and all kinds of crazy stuff they're doing, the way I see it, and promoting violence and saying it's okay, and then the kids can watch it and all that, and who's going to get the championship belt, who's the top, whatever, and all that. If you want to do that, I don't want to live as a slave to any part of this brainwashing society. But I'm saying, I'm not putting down people. If you want to do MMA and you want to keep fit and you're a logical person, MMA and some of these UFC fighters are athletes and they're very good fighters, and some of the skills could actually help people with their focus. It can actually help people to actually be strong, fit, and to actually protect themselves too. It's an actual good thing. It's a, but how it's used like anything, how it's used like a tool. But I'm saying that that's sport fighting and entertainment, which a lot of it's geared towards now, and the actual training concepts. Yeah, there's the mind and stuff, but I see it as a product of this modern society, this world. It's chop suey, mobile phones, brainwashed AI age, as such, where it's moving into. And I see it like modern day martial arts. No offense to anybody, but it's not like martial arts. It's just like fighting, physical bodies, tough guys. They think they're being practical, which it is in a lot of ways. There's a lot of practicality to the training, but they're always talking about the advancements and what they know now compared to the past and how it's developed. When actually they don't realise, a lot of people don't realise that they're missing out on the treasure. It's like, just like another one of my heroes, an artist named Bob Ross. His teacher was, I think, Alexander Williams is his name, and he was always talking about it. One time he even said it's like a treasure chest deep under the sea. It might be deep under the sea, but it's still a treasure chest, and everybody has that within them. So why not let it out? Use. So what I'm trying to say is, it's the same thing. The martial arts being left in the past, the traditional martial arts. People look back and they say, look at all that. There's so much bullshit, so much, because there was so much crap going around, and there was so many bad teachers too, and people following stupid shit. And plus, a lot of people were just inspired by movies, and movies were great, and I love martial art movies, but some people couldn't tell the difference between films and the principles carried in there, and then real martial arts. But that, yeah. But the thing is, there was traditional true martial arts, and the traditional true martial arts were practical at the end of the day. Much more beneficial physically, mentally, spiritually, if you want to say that. Training on so many levels. It's a different kind of training, fair enough, but it was totally different to today's training. They don't know enough about it, especially the new generations of people coming out. They just do not know enough about traditional martial arts. And it's a very sad thing because it's dying out. They don't know enough about it. So, traditional martial arts was the way. Today, modern day, I feel, is just a shallow, watered down, from what I'm seeing, all right? Yeah, they can whoop my ass. Yeah, they're tough guys. Yeah, they show their muscles. I don't care if they've got tattoos on their body or money stuck to their back. I don't care what it is, or chains around their neck or whatever. But at the end of the day, guys stepping in a ring, beating the hell out of each other, they want to just be a fighter. Ego, even if you're someone who's got no ego and you're just someone who's doing this training, it's good training and athleticism, but the benefit that you could get from traditional martial art, true knowledge, and the training is something else. Comparing the two, it's not an improvement. You don't say surfing is an improvement upon skiing because it came out later. Skiing down a snowy mountain and then surfing on the waves are two totally different things. They're two totally different things. And that's exactly what it is with this. Yeah, a man punching and kicking. Yeah, he's talking about the most practical way to beat an enemy and all that. But it's not, as much as it is about that in some level, it's not about that. There's ways of, I don't want to say expression, there's a being about the traditional martial art that people do not get. Mental and physical training that they do not understand. And they just mock it and put it down because they see a few people wearing a gi or something getting their ass beat by some MMA guy. And they say, here we go, shows it again, traditional martial arts don't work and all this. Actually, they're being blinded. They're just following the same as a lot of things in the world. It's an idea going around, stereotype, and they don't understand. So MMA is practical. Yeah, some of these people are tough on that, but to actually push that aside and say traditional martial arts is not realistic or there's nothing in it hardly to learn, they've got it the arse up fucking wrong way around. There's the benefits over traditional martial arts. My goodness, traditional martial arts. I mean, the old way. That's the gold right there. That's amazing. Nowadays, to me, it's a watered down joke. It's just not even. If you say that they're the same thing and that's an improvement upon that, that's bullshit. No, they're two different things. I'm not saying that's bullshit. I'm saying they're two different things. Even if you are a humble person and you're not an ego person who wants to get in the ring and show muscles and beat blood out of someone's face, man or woman. No. even if you don't have that ego, but I'm just saying still, it's a different kind of training, and I'm just letting that out, okay, that information. It's not all bullshit and crap, like this traditional martial arts. It's a real fucking deal. It's like looking at a samurai sword and saying, that's not sharp. That's exactly what it's like. You just do not get it. This stuff don't cut the butter, this new stuff. But this, basically, okay, come on.
Favourite foods. What's your favourite treat? I mean, I'm fond of cookies. Do you like Marmite?
I do. I like cookies. I like Marmite. I like chocolate. I like chocolate cakes, chocolate ice cream, chocolate. I drink my tea every day. I do. When it comes to junk food, I do like my pizzas. I like my McDonald's hamburger. What do you call fucking Big Mac? Sorry, you know, I have 2 each time. I don't mind the spicy food like a curry now and again. But the thing is, you got to remember, I've been living in China for so long, and I've had to get used to like Chinese food, you know what I mean? But whenever I get a chance to have 2 Big Macs from Mackie D's, McDonald's, I do love it, I must say. Okay, but I love my food. I might be a thin guy, but I can eat a lot. I really can. But you got to watch out what you eat, obviously, and stay a bit healthy, obviously. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, yeah, pretty similar to you, really.
How important is it to be able to express yourself, especially in this day and age? Okay.
So, by that, as I've covered before, expressing yourself in this day and age, or in any day and age, as a human being, it's important but it's like you need to understand the difference between expressing yourself for a reason. You need to understand the cause. Express, do you mean as in a being? Like I express myself through my drawing, but whether I post it online or talk to people and advertise and show something, to express a meaning, express a message, and express my concerns, or express some kind of message out, like saying something, or that's a different thing. See, I may be just expressing myself through the art, like expression, like enjoying the drawing, enjoying the martial arts movement I'm training. Is breathing an expression? Is life an expression in itself towards yourself? Life's like a mirror too. You're seeing, when you're looking at it, you're seeing your own thoughts reflected anyway. You're asking someone a question. What you're really doing is listening to what you're saying and looking for something. So, but yeah, I mean, but definitely, you know, human beings can communicate, and there's a time to put a message or a question out there. So, all forms of human expression are important. I'll put it a stupidly simple way. All forms of expression and all forms of human, what's the word, phenomena, right, are part of the human. So all forms of human expression are relevant and important. But we need to constantly question. If we don't question and learn and think and work with it in control of some kind of, like, you know, of ourselves, then that's basically a dead man. You've got to have a mind, you know what I'm trying to say. So always think about what you're expressing. And a lot of the time we're expressing without thinking it, but would you call that expression? You know what I'm saying? There's 2 kinds of expression. One's like expression, like just the being and what you're doing something and you enjoy, and then the other one's putting a message out there. So Bruce Lee talking about honest self-expression. I mean, but I'm saying, like, what's the point in doing expressing? What do you want to express? There's people expressing themselves all the damn time. I've got to express my opinion, you know. Oh, I've got to, dress a certain way. I'm an important person. Look at me. But I don't believe in all that. If someone's so concerned about putting a message out there, or they want to change something about the world, why? Or they want to change people's thoughts, why? Because they feel that they're under attack, or they can't get on with their life. They have no, people always feel that they need to do something like that because they're under such scrutiny. No, you've got to find peace in you. If you've got peace in yourself, then you've got true expression. Expression from the self is expression to the self, for the self. Expression of self. You know, it's not like you take your heart out and you just chuck it into the basketball. You know what I'm trying to say? The guy was jumping so hard to dunk the ball in the net, and it was like he almost gave himself a heart attack. You know? Now, you know what I'm trying to say, though? It's like you got to understand what you're trying to express. What are you trying to put out there? What are you trying to get in return? It's the same thing. Is the ball so far away? It's like the basketball court is within the player, so to speak. You know, it's there. You have it. The piece is in you. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to travel so far to find happiness. That's what I'm saying. That it's different for everyone. Everybody's got different ways of thinking. But anyway, you know, that's how I see it. You know?
What do you see a big problem with society today?
Fucking crime. All the problems in society are mainly people being brainwashed, dumbed down, generation after generation. The last few generations have been dumbed down. They're using technology in a negative way. Not only that, but the people that are producing it, the society, was controlling. They're trying to control and brainwash people and dumb them down, control their thoughts until all they can do is press buttons, programmed into, as I say, they're trying to get people's brains connected up to AI and chips and the cloud and all this. They're trying to dumb people down so that they do not exist anymore. They're robotic zombies, gradually cutting down the population. It doesn't matter. You can have your wars and your fighting and whatever, but gradually it doesn't matter the rich or the poor. They're going to dumb you down until in the end they can just clone your ass. They can just have your brain, whatever your thoughts uploaded onto the fucking internet of everything. You know, AI, cloud. They're just trying to get rid of the human being. So that you just got less people in the world, a few, you know, lucky ones. That's how they try to take over the world. Wipe out as much as humanity is necessary, so that they become richer, and then you got robots running the whole show, and it's just complete insanity. You got poor areas of the world, different, all kinds of stupid laws coming off and on all around the world. Different things. Nothing's clear. Nothing's just. It's all corrupt. It's all corrupt. None of it's clear. Many of like none of the words, how they're used, how things are interpreted, political correctness, all kinds of other ideas they're introducing, constant distraction, and the dumbed downness of people and the laziness in people, just looking at their screens or whatever, not able to think for themselves realistically. The reality, they're being cut off from reality. You got young people pressured, stressed. They're trying to tear down their family unit. They're trying to tear down people's logic. You've got people having all kinds of operations, sex change, protests on the street. Whatever goes, you know, cannibalism here, you're poisoning your food, your crops, you've got genetically modified things, you don't even know what you're eating. They program you from the day you live to the day you die. They use every generation of humanity like you're a sheet of toilet paper. Rightly put by Charles Manson, whether he did do wrong or not, but they're using every generation like sheets of toilet paper, man. That's what it is. And that's how I say. And basically you've got young people on drugs, you've got fighting, you know, it's just constant. The need, the world's just insane. I feel a lot of it. They're constantly on the edge. You offended me. What? Oh, they're paranoid about everything. They've got people such shaking, like in paranoia of life. They're so afraid and so on the edge. They're going to control you one way or another. They'll use money. They'll use digital money. They'll use any kind of logo, something that appears on your screen, digital, whatever gets the person to look like. They're just brain dead fucking zombies. They've got people where they want them. They're destroying the human race. You're totally fucked about traveling to other planets in the universe. You are totally fucked, everybody, right? If you don't get off your arse and say, no, time is enough. I would be shouting now, but I've got people at home. I can't be shouting, but you've got to get back and start respecting and valuing the human world of human nature. That's what you want, and nature. Technology is good, tools are good. I don't mind watching a film on a screen, using computer screens, fair enough. You've got to protect your eyes, I know. But I don't need my brain connected into something. I don't need a toaster plugged into my arse, and you could chop my wang off and say I'm not, excuse my language, and say, you know, however you want to take that, and say, you know, tomorrow I'm a monkey, you know, the next day I'm this, I'm that, and you're not allowed to say. They're confusing the shit out of you. You need to understand the air that you breathe. You don't even know if you're breathing in fucking microchips, man. About it's just fucked up. It just really is. And then the amount of violence and confusion and you stress, and they don't give a shit about you. The world is fucked. Come back to nature and humanity, people. That's it. Love and value of the human being life.
Would you say that you're a deep thinker?
Yes. I'd say I'm a deep thinker, but it depends how you look at it from different aspects. So I would say I'm more of a logical, In my own logic, yes, but I try and steer towards reality. So I'm a deep thinker, questioner, and then sometimes you can go too far down a road of thought, or not enough. But it's like I'll try and stay focused. I don't get distracted by too much bullshit. I see the insanity. I don't. When I step out of my front door every day, I know it's like a mental hospital. So I try to avoid it the best I can, like a hermit. I mean, I go out, I do what I've got to do, come back, and I stay focused on my positive creation. And then when it comes to like uploading artwork or animation, I'll try to, if I get a chance, to put a positive message out there as well. I'll put that through that, But I stay focused on what I know is good for me. Basic exercise, good rest when I can, good sleep when I can. Doing some art and creation like that. That's what I like to do. Focus, Yes.
And finally, because this is obviously a short, rapid-fire interview, do you have any advice for people at home training? They might not be in a good position. Okay, they might be young at home, going through a tough time. Looking for escapism in the movies.
Yeah.
Is it like, is there something they could do? Maybe similar to what you did.
Sure is.
Any advice to anybody at home? Going into martial arts, just making it through life in general, trying to stay positive. Might be in jobs, negative people everywhere.
Yeah.
What advice have you got for them?
Okay. Well, basically, train hard and stay safe. I always have said over the years. And it ain't hard if you train hard. That's two things I've always said. But look, basically, martial arts, if you say martial arts is martial arts, it is, as it is. Train hard. Avoid fights, avoid violence. If you can't get to a school, you don't have money, there are places, there's a lot of information online. You can learn a lot from stuff online, from videos. But it's better to go to a school and train with a teacher. So have a look around at different schools. And I would advise people to not only try and find a good teacher, but try and have a look at the traditional martial arts. That's what I steer towards. Okay, I'll just say that. If you want to do it, you'll do it. So you've got to train hard and discipline yourself. It's not an easy thing. If you want to do it, you'll do it. That's all there is to it. Martial arts is deep and it's an amazing journey. I can't really promote what I think people should do because I've learned that, it depends on you and your life situation. Martial arts helped me especially because of who I am. You see what I'm trying to say? I can't tell someone, look, man, you should go and learn to play the saxophone. Really? You're going to... Because you might not like playing the saxophone. You might not be into that. But you might be a wonderful mural painter or something on walls. You know what I mean? Now, training-wise, though, you can train. Doesn't mean that you have to go to a gym or a dojo or have money and have even the best teachers to actually still work out and keep fit. Everybody can keep fit. I advise everybody to keep fit. Learn some basic skills if you can in the martial arts. Learn a few basic techniques for self-defense. It's better to have a few basic techniques for self-defense than nothing, and just build it up over time. Don't try and learn everything over one day or whatever. You can learn it in time. And practice. Find time to practice a little bit every day, especially every week. Definitely do some practice and training. It's a regular thing. It can't be just a short thing. So I'm thinking also the other thing. The other main thing I want to say here, and that is this. Okay. You mentioned life about people staying positive. The same thing. Martial arts and life is all one thing. So avoid negativity. Whoever's bringing you down, fuck them. Not in a negative way. I mean, just ignore that. Fuck negativity. So when you see someone who's a negative son of a bitch, don't look at that. Excuse me, I have to be real. Someone who's negative, someone who's rude, someone who's foul, someone who's selfish. I don't care if it's your family members, your friends, someone you work with, someone, a stranger. Just avoid it the best you can. If you can't avoid it, you've got to avoid it. Mentally, physically, if I was just avoid negativity, get as fucking far away as... Doesn't mean run, but if you can't turn something into a positive thing, if there's need to be doing so even, or change it around, then avoid it, okay? And vice versa. So what I'm trying to say is, so if someone's negative, don't go around carrying hate within yourself, even if you feel so angry. And it's natural for a lot of people to feel pissed off and angry. Understand what, like I do, as I try and tell myself that these people are out of their mind, or they're just seeing things differently to you, which is also fine. Based on their mental state, they're either they're unable, and it's not your job to force yourself to try and make them. You shouldn't be trying to change the world and change people. You do not have to worry and be a slave to people and hope that they respect you. And you shouldn't need to be offended and let your mind be taken away by people's attitudes. If they're fucked up in their brain, if they're negative, or it's coming from a kind of insanity, right? Their mind's not in the place of peace and logic that you are in. Doesn't mean that you're always right. Be humble, but don't jump into people's spaces. Don't see it like they're in your space. You're peaceful in your own world. Find your own passions. Don't always compete with others. You can always do better, but your better doesn't mean better than somebody else or on a platform or advertising something. You don't need to slave your ass off and be a prostitute for society. The society robs you of your time and energy and whatever, and you start spending what money you have on some drugs. Are you fucked up? You speak a certain way, you dress a certain way, you walk around trying to fit in your whole life because otherwise people don't accept you. That means you're a damn slave to people. So you're never going to be you. You're not even respected by those people, even if they do make you the top leader of the thing. What's that? You'll never be happy until you find self, peace and value and be true to yourself, totally true and honest. It's not about money, even where you live. You might have to move around the world, you might have to live a peaceful life, but if you find peace and find your own passion, that's the most important thing. There's people in hospital dying now with diseases. Value life while you got it. Protect your health and your sanity and don't fucking take drugs. Live for your passion and hobbies.
And finally,
right.
What is your training like today compared to that of years ago?
Okay. I love it.
What do you actually do to keep in shape? What do you actually do to work out? Now, a lot of people might look at you and think, oh, he's a thin guy.
I'm a thin guy.
He doesn't do a lot.
Skinny bastard.
Okay. But the good thing about this is I've always said this about deception.
I want to choke my pencil
martial arts. You can't tell a painter just by looking at them. And when you see you express your wushu, your forms, the way you move, it's like poetry in motion, okay?
Thank you. It's not...
what are your training methods nowadays?
Well, Decepticon. The con men. No, but basically, wushu, as I say, I'm not that great at those kind of styles, but I do keep very flexible with myself. Now, nowadays, as I say, I'm not training even half as hardcore, or maybe half the kind of training that I used to. Not even that, really. I'm not doing half the training that I used to do when I was younger. I was training forms and everything non-stop. I was waking up super early in the dark before the sun rose, training in the snow and everything. Nowadays, I just do a basic fitness workout, stretching, as I say, every day, and some basic Wing Chun trapping, because I think that's the most beneficial. Just basic principles of self-defense, the locks, imagining, and the basic self-defensive techniques. And I do flexibility training just so that I'm able to get the basics out there, kicking and punching, so I'm actually in good shape. Occasionally, I'll review a form or something. Hold on 1 second. Please excuse me. Somebody just called me in the other room. I'm just going to finish what I'm saying. Yeah. Occasionally, I'll review some other moves that I've studied in the past, or like forms and things. And it's good to have that knowledge. But you've got to keep yourself in good shape. But I'm not training like those all the time like I used to. And I can only spar with people when I really can nowadays. It's kind of hard. But I've done like Wing Chun, sticky hand sparring and stuff like that. A lot of that over the last couple of years with my teaching and stuff, like teaching people and that. But mainly that's what it basically is, a basic top to bottom stretch workout that allows me to do a lot of basic martial arts, be it from Kung Fu, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate type free flow fighting. And then Tai Chi kind of flows, Aikido locks. I'm a mixture of so many martial arts, me. Anyway, I've looked into it all, weapon flows, kind of ninjutsu tactics, anything I've picked up along the way, watching it, how to flow. I've got my own way of moving, the punching, kicking and that. But it's like, I just do a basic top to bottom stretch workout, good stance work. I want to do some more working out on my arms when I can. I know I keep saying it. I've got dumbbells, do a little bit of that, do some push-ups. I like to do them on a low wall or something. I'm not the strongest guy, I'm pretty slim, but my arms, I love to condition and get conditioning on trees, and been doing that for years, get the power, striking and whatever. But it's like, but yeah, definitely flexible enough, I say, not the most flexible and doing wushu forms and, like gymnastic like some people, but it's like, I'm 36 years old, I like the Wing Chun, so I work on a lot of Wing Chun tactics and simple tactics and simple movements, hand-to-hand combat, I'll say that. and I just love what I do. Okay, so thank you so much for the questions, bro.
And that about wraps it up.
Okay.
So, Richard, thank you ever so much for coming on the Demzly show.
Thank you.
Of course, this is like my first audio, rapid fire. We haven't got no music, I'm afraid.
Bring on more. Fair enough.
We'll see what happens in the future. Thank you ever so much for being on the show. I hope people have enjoyed watching this at home.
Me too. I hope you've enjoyed it.
And I wish you all the best. Thank you. Demzly out.
Thank you very much, Demzly. Thank you, my bro. Okay, so I want to say thanks everybody for watching this. Thank you so much. I hope it's been fairly interesting. I know it's long. It's 1 hour and 25 minutes. The other day I made it. Yesterday I made this same video, 2 hours and 34 minutes. Much longer. Just over another hour longer. But we've done it in just less than just a little less than half the time. So it's not too bad. Or no. Well, you know what I mean. This is still very long though. And I want to say thank you for watching this. Okay, I've been through a lot in my life. Dangerous situations to a couple. I've had to protect myself. I've had to go through a lot. I've been through a lot of things mentally and physically. I've had to go through shit to get where I am today. But you know where you're heading, man. It's like, where are you now? You got to stay in your sanity and peace in your own mind. Stay positive and don't follow the cuckoo land out there. They're trying to brainwash your goddamn head every day. Thank you for watching. Take care now. Train hard and stay safe.